It is Friday, June 7th, 2024. This is another edition of Baseball Today, presented to you by our friends over at Factor. That is my man, Trevor Plouffe. I am Chris Rose, producer Dan, and intern Tommy, along for the ride as well. Another day, another city on the Trevor Plouffe Twins tour. What time did you get into Pittsburgh?
Got in real late, Chris, or early, depending on how you look at it. But I'm not complaining because I love what I do. I love talking baseball on the TV, on your computer, on your cell phone. It doesn't matter. I just want to talk to you about baseball, Chris. And if anybody knows about working hard and running multiple jobs, it's you.
Yeah.
So you are my mentor. And look, here I am. I'm like a mini Chris Rose, just way better looking. And there's some other things, but I love it, bro. Don't come at me like that. You kind of came at me hard as I hopped on the computer today.
I needed to get your energy going and your blood boiling. I know it has been a tiring day, but Twins Pirates on Apple TV tonight, so you could just put your feet up.
Yeah.
You'll get your green juice right after this show. But let's get to it, okay? We'll get your factor question of the week, which is a good one coming up in just a little bit. But we start with a tip of the cap to none other than Jamie Westbrook, who got called up by the Boston Red Sox the other day, got his first major league hit, and then Thursday night did it one better.
Far with the Red Sox after all those years in the minors. So swing and drive on deep to left. Deloach backing up, and that ball is gone. Home run. Look at that
second
smile.
time this week we're giving a tip of the cap to a guy who's been in the minor leagues for a long, long time. Yeah, look at that smile. Former fifth-round pick back in 2013, more than 1,100 minor league games, 11 seasons down there on the farm, let go by 4 teams. I'm sure he never thought that moment would happen, but it did, and it's really cool.
It's awesome to see guys that grind it out, that continue to go and push forward, even when it seems, grim. Like they'll never make it to the big leagues, and all of a sudden, man, you just put the numbers up, you get the opportunity, and then you take advantage of it. Shout out Jamie. I've been in his DMs, I've been in his IGGMs, telling him he's doing a good job.
Oh, that way. Good work by you. Hey, before we get to all of our questions that you see on the side of the screen, first matchup between Jose Ramirez and Tim Anderson since the fight last year when Anderson was still a member of the White Sox. Everybody's trying to make a big deal about this. I mean, if Jose gets an extra base hit, which I'm sure he will at some point this weekend, it stops at second. They're not even going to look at each other.
I think Jose might shoot him a freaking look. What's up, bro? Remember me? I think Tim might keep those eyes down a little bit. No, I don't know. I'm sure they're over. I'm sure they've. I mean, I don't know if they've talked about it or made up, if you will. But I'm kind of curious to see what happens.
No, I think that Jose actually, if people know him a little bit, he's been embarrassed by the whole thing. I don't think he was like, yeah, kicked his ass. I think he was like, yeah, kind of. Listen, he's always going to be one up on somebody there. So I think it was probably bigger in everybody else's eyes. I don't think it's a big deal. I don't think anything happens. So let's get to it. Dodgers and Yankees this weekend, and I definitely want to digest the series. But obviously the entire baseball world, and in particular, fans of the New York Yankees are waiting to get the imaging on Juan Soto. He was pulled during last night's rain delay against your Minnesota Twins. And so there was a little bit of back and forth, not only Aaron Boone and the media, who Boone couldn't say much, right? The imaging hadn't been done, so didn't know a ton. Just kind of took us through the timeline of the injury, which has been over the last week and a half. It wasn't one specific thing that led to it. But here's Juan Soto with members.
Was there a moment that caused the initial discomfort?
No, not at all. Not at all. I'm actually just wake up one day, feel the tightness and the discomfort in my forearm, and we've been working on it, and we've been trying to get away with it, and it hasn't go out.
Have you ever felt this before, earlier in your career or anything?
No, not that I remember.
All right, so, he talks for a couple minutes. How worried would you be if you were a Yankee fan?
I mean, I'd be pretty worried. I don't know what the diagnosis is going to be. Anything that's down your forearm, when we've seen position players have to go under the knife and get Tommy John. I'm not saying that's what it is. I mean, that would be my biggest fear if I was a Yankee fan. The way things are going in New York with him in the lineup and everybody healthy, it's a World Series team. Like I just watched them and marveled at the baseball they were playing, running the bases the right way. Juan Soto's part of that. Playing defense the right way. Juan Soto's part of that. And the at-bats he put up, he didn't even get any hits, I don't think, like 1 or 2 hits the entire series, but he was on base almost every time. Like he'll work his walks, and he's made that lineup so much better. When he came out of the game and Alex Verdugo replaced him, and Alex Verdugo is a great player in his own right, but I felt they were beatable. That was the first time I felt they were beatable. So you want Juan Soto in the lineup, and I'm not a Yankee hater, as like everyone likes to call me a Yankee hater. I hope Juan Soto's fine. I hope he plays the rest of the season every single day in that lineup because it's very, very fun to watch. He's a very, very talented ball player, obviously.
Yeah, he's great. I mean, I'm sorry. Like, if you're rooting for him to be injured, then there's something wrong with you. I don't want that. I want the MRI to come back clean. Now, I will say this. I appreciate all the internet doctors that came out last night and helped us because that seems to be the prevailing theory, right? If you do a little research on your own, you basically act like you went to med school. That's not the way
that is the world today, isn't it?
It is totally the way it works. So I don't know what this means. Now, if I were a Yankee fan, would I be concerned? Absolutely, because I don't know what's happening. So for people to say, well, it doesn't bother him during baseball activities and to come up with their own conclusion, that doesn't mean shit because Shane Bieber threw 6 or 7 amazing innings against the Seattle Mariners, and the next day we find out he's having Tommy John surgery. Like, that's what happens. It can be that fast. We also don't know that it's that. We have no idea, so we all just have to wait. So I'm telling you, if you're Yankee fans, it's okay to be worried. It's okay to be frightened. It's okay to say, well, I don't think it's any big. That's fine. You don't know shit until they tell us. That's all I'm telling you is that hopefully you'll find out later today. Hopefully it doesn't require second imaging. Hopefully it doesn't require a second opinion. And hopefully he just needs a couple days rest or maybe a quick IL stint, and we'll see him soon. But to say anything other than, we got to wait, you're off base. You're just looking to fill content time, which I think is unfair, which is what we just did for 2.5 minutes.
Yeah, we did.
Let's get to the actual series at hand. Dodgers visiting the New York Yankees. Both teams, heavy favorites to make the World Series. Yankees, biggest favorite in the American League. Dodgers right up there with the Phillies and the Braves, depending on how you want to slice it. But I ask you this. Which fan base would be more disappointed without at least a fall classic appearance?
I think both fan bases will be disappointed, but I think right now the way the Yankees, and I guess I'm taking the Juan Soto news out of this, like the way Yankee fans and the city's feeling right now, I feel like they would be more disappointed. And the Dodgers just got one in 2020, and they just signed, Shohei for 10 plus years, and like they feel like their window is pretty large. Yankee fans are hoping to sign Juan Soto so they can have this big window of Judge and Soto and Cole and Volpe. But I would go with the Yankees right now because they are playing like really excellent baseball, and it looks and feels different than most Yankees teams. I mean, every facet of the game they're playing well. So if I had to choose between the two, again, I think both fan bases like almost expect to be in the World Series. But Yankees fans would be more disappointed, Chris.
I think Yankee fans would too. Now, I believe it's pronounced Angel Barragan Jr. in our chat says both the Dodgers and the Yankees need it. Dodgers want to quiet everybody saying 2020 doesn't count. That was the pandemic-shortened season.
Sure.
Yankees haven't been to the World Series, let alone won it, since 2009. That's a full 15 years. I get it. I do think it's the Yankees in part because they don't know the future of Juan Soto.
Yes.
There's a lot of people that think he's going to stay. I think he's got a good shot, but you just do not know. Who's the biggest free agent for the Los Angeles Dodgers? There's some guys that'll be up. They're going to have to replace some pitchers, I think. But Mookie ain't going anywhere. Shohei ain't going anywhere. Freddie Freeman ain't going anywhere. Tyler Glasnow's not going anywhere. Will Smith's not going anywhere. Like, that's a lot of really good players that are staying put. For the Yankees, I know you could say the same with Garrett Cole and Carlos Rodon and Anthony Volpe and all of that, but we're talking about the newest, biggest cog in that offense that makes it work outside of Aaron Judge that we just don't know the future about. So I think the Yankees fans would be more disappointed. But I also expect the Yankees to be there. I mean, I do think there's a bit of a gap between the Yankees and everybody else in the American League. Why are you shaking your head?
Because, I mean, I hate saying this, Chris. I really do. But they're a lock to make the playoffs, and they have the ability to run it. But you know how it goes, man.
Totally.
Some team some dude like Adolis Garcia comes into town and just goes off, and your series is over.
I get all that. I understand it. What I'm saying is that I think there is a bigger gap between the Yankees and the rest of the American League than there is between the Dodgers, because I'm not even so sure that they're the best team in the National League. That's what I'm saying. Is that on June 7th, 4 months before we start the playoffs, that's how I feel.
Okay.
All right? That's all I'm saying.
I'm okay with that.
We have a London series going on for the third time. Mets, Phillies. So I'm going to treat this like a survey for you. Are you not excited, mildly excited, or out of this world, can't wait to see what's going on in England this weekend?
I think I'm mildly excited. All of these games, whether they're played in Korea or Mexico City or London, they don't really do it for me, Chris. But again, they're not really for me. So, I like seeing the guys travel, and I like seeing all like the B-roll type stuff, like them out, like Rob Thompson, out on the town. And, I like seeing like them coming off the plane for some reason, like all the extra stuff. I enjoy that, but like the games themselves being played over there, I kind of like think they're kind of like any other game, except they're probably going to hit a bunch more homers because for whatever reason, seems like these parks just give up homers. But again, they're not for me, and I think they are important to baseball, to Major League Baseball, and the expansion of the game. So I want them to keep going. I wish I never got to be part of one. I wish I would have. I think that would have been a great experience, and everyone I talked to talks about how fun these games are. But I'm not the target demographic, so I'm mildly excited about it.
So here's Pete Alonso of the New York Mets. He had a chance to meet the British tabloid workers.
I'm really stoked to do it. I was really excited when it came out on the schedule, when I saw that we were going to be here. So this is definitely a bucket list thing. And I mean, jet lag's a choice. I mean, we're here, and the time's the time. And I think for us, thankfully we had 2 off days, so I think we'll all be ready to go by the time the weekend comes around.
Oh, that's great right there. That is such a ball player, Pete Alonso. Like,
dude, hey, it's jet lag. Is that your choice today? Is jet lag your choice?
I don't. What's jet lag?
Whoa.
Hey, is this bad if I say like he's our Rob Gronkowski?
No, I think you nailed it. I think that's exactly who he is. With a little less.
Said that before.
He's like dialed, but he's dialed back a little bit. Like Gronk is, me see football, me eat football.
Yeah, he plays it up. Gronk plays it up. Yeah.
Yeah. Gronk does play it up. But I think that's a great one. Have you used that before?
No, I just thought about it right with that line. I mean, that's a hilarious line right there. And I don't mean anything negative by it. I think it's charming. Like Pete Alonso's charming to me.
Right. Like Gronk is pretty much loved, universally loved, like for the most part. That's a great line on Alonso. Jet lag is a choice. Let me get to the answer here. I'll take the third one that I wrote. I don't even remember what I wrote. I am excited. I'm excited for it. I will make time for it this weekend because I do like seeing the pageantry. I do like seeing these fans that wear like Phillies Mets combined shirts and jerseys and stuff like that.
That's good. That gets Americans fired up right there.
Yeah, I loved seeing the Philly Fanatic out doing its thing, in the garb. This is great. I mean, who the hell?
This is what I'm talking about. This is what I like, Chris.
That's great. That is hilarious. Have you ever been to England?
No, I have not.
Oh,
I'd love to go.
Yeah, it's fun. I went as a kid, as a teenager with my parents on spring break, and I was pissed that I went because I was missing the March Madness. So they were like, shut up, you idiot. Go look at hundreds of years of history. And I went and I covered the British Open one time, which was actually at St. Andrews in Scotland. But I started out by covering a Lennox Lewis fight in England.
Okay.
So, yeah. I think against, I want to say Franz Botha, the White Buffalo is what he called him. I think that's who it was. So, yeah, I've spent some time over there. Cool. I think it'll be fun. I don't know exactly what we're trying to do over there. Like, is baseball going to become as big as the NFL over in England or no?
I don't know. This is what I think. I think we're planting seeds in all these cities because we're waiting on some sort of like faster airplane travel where we can actually like have teams there. That's my theory. I don't know.
Dalton in the chat is saying that it seems like a lot of travel for only 2 games. Should they stay longer? It's a great question. I think that, you know what? They should do probably like a 4-game series, right? Take 2 games from each team at home.
They have to give them some travel time and like an adjustment day, so they'll end up just eating a lot of the schedule up. I'm assuming that's why.
Yes.
Or I guess would it eat any more of the schedule up? I don't know.
Yeah,
I did see we posted something, Chris, about the Mets, how they were. There was like a poster of the Mets. It was like Adam Ottavino, and it was like somebody else that's on the team, but then Jake Reed, who hadn't been on the team in like 2 years and only played like 8 innings pitched on the team. Like, that's pretty funny. And they kind of look like they just looked for anybody that looked like they were from England and just said, "Hey, okay, here, you're on the board."
Perfect. Yeah, that's pretty incredible. All right, more show coming your way, but first I want to talk to you about how important it is to treat your pet and your dog in particular with such reverence. And part of that means getting them the right food. Quit the kibble, whatever that goo stuff is that you put in their bowl, get rid of that stuff. Because the farmer's dog is food that is developed with vets, made from fresh, real meat and veggies, perfectly portioned for your dog and delivered right to your door. It's not only the highest quality food, but as I said, it's made specifically for your dog. We started giving it to Sydney like 8 or 10 months ago. She is the happiest dog ever. Whenever I open the fridge, she thinks it's because of her. Instead, it's usually to stuff something in my fat face. But she just knows that she loves the farmer's dog. It is smart, healthy pet food that you can feed your youngest pup or an aging veteran, a la Sydney, who we think is right around 13 years old because we rescued her. We're not exactly sure what it's all about. But a fresh diet has been found to have all sorts of health benefits. Better coat and skin, better breath. That is a big deal. Even easier digestion, smaller, better poops, which when you walk your dog around the block, and hopefully you're not one of those lazy asses that leaves your poop everywhere. I want to talk to you if that's who you are. But you know how important that is in a dog and a dog owner's life. I'm not talking to you about that. So once again, it doesn't matter if your dog is old or young. It's always the right time to begin investing in their health. Help keep the dog healthy and playing ball with you. You're also going to get 50% off your first box at thefarmersdog.com/today. Plus, you get free shipping, which is a big deal because it's no little tiny Tiffany box. It's the big old bad boy. Head on over to thefarmersdog.com/today. You're going to get half off, and you're going to get 100% love because at the end of the day, your doggy will look up at you and say, "Rah-rah-roo, ready? Rah, rah-roo." Continue on. Brian Wu, 6 more shutout innings in Oakland. That's about 10 minutes from where he grew up. Mariners have now won 9 of their last 11. They have the largest lead of any division leader in the American League. It's 5 games currently over the world champion Texas Rangers. Are you willing to say on June 7th, 10 weeks into this season, that Seattle is officially the team to beat in the AL West?
I think that's fair. I think that's totally fair, Chris. And I even think, they haven't really hit their potential, in my opinion. This has basically been based on their excellent starting pitching. That's why they've been able to, get this lead in the division. They still haven't really hit the ball. Excuse me. My goodness. And the bullpen hasn't been as great as, I think a lot of people anticipated. So, like, they could use some retooling at the trade deadline. I think this team can be better than they are. And, this is what you want as an organization. Like, this is the hardest thing to do, is to have a starting pitching staff 5-6 deep of guys that you can really rely on, guys that you could count on to dominate a baseball game. So once you have this, you have to find a way to surround those guys with sticks, or have the bullpen also contribute. I'm more worried about the offense than I am about the bullpen. I think those guys can figure it out. But again, I think they are the team to beat right now. They put themselves at this spot because of the pitching, and they have to. I know they made some moves in the offseason. I get that, but they have to go out and be very, very aggressive at this trade deadline. You just got to do it.
Yeah, if they want to blow past that 540 winning percentage, they certainly do.
Got to do it. What are they? Are they at 540 right now? Please tell me they are.
No, I
look
think
right
they're
now.
higher than that. I think aren't they like 34 and 27 or something?
There's 36 and 28.
Okay, that's better than
So
540,
I
isn't
can't
it?
I can't do the math right now. I got it right here. You
They
ready for it?
Yeah, like
563.
Yeah, they're killing it. They're killing it.
Oh, then they can afford to lose a few games. You're fine.
Right. Exactly. Jerry DePoto's like, slow down. Slow down,
guys.
You're overshooting this thing.
Dude, let me say this, Chris, before we move on. I've been like around a lot of front offices lately, and I've been listening to how like teams are approaching things. And I'm more and more I'm turning into like the salty old ball player.
Oh no.
I've always wanted to be a guy that's like, you know what? I'm gonna embrace the new age of baseball. We're gonna go in this together. The problem is these guys don't want to go in it together. So now I have to choose a side.
So wait,
and you know what side I'm choosing.
Explain that though. What do you mean they don't want to go in it together?
I don't think ex-players' expertise is valued anymore.
Okay.
I don't think the experience of being in a big league stadium, batter's box, pitching mound, whatever have you, is valued anymore, or at least valued enough. So again, like if I had to choose a side, you know what side I'm choosing, Chris.
So, but let's play this out. And I know that we're talking about the Mariners here, but it's a bigger topic. Jerry DePoto pitched in the major leagues. There's a lot of
talking about Jerry DePoto.
But all I'm saying is that there are guys who did play in the major leagues. It feels like fewer and fewer, right? Chris Young is the architect of the world champion Texas Rangers.
Point for us.
Yeah, I do think that there is a nasty division, right? Because who was it the other day that said something about the nerds? We ran that soundbite on the show. Who was it? Dan, do you remember who it was? We had I forget who it was. I don't know if somebody in the chat can shake loose this old brain. That would be great. But I remember somebody was talking about the nerds out there. But it does feel like it's us against them. Oh, yeah, that's exactly what it was. It was Ozzie Guillen on a post-game show. Now, Ozzie's obviously of a different generation. I mean, Ozzie's in his 60s and all that sort of bit. And plus, Ozzie's Ozzie. He's kind of 101. But there is a true division. There is a division. You can feel it. It is palpable when you either go into a clubhouse or on the field that it's like the nerdy Ivy Leaguers and the jocks.
I mean, I get in and I sit with these dudes and I ask questions and I talk baseball with them because I want to know what the heck is going on. I want to know how their brain works. I think they really appreciate that because I get in and they ask questions back to me. And I'm not saying the Twins specifically. I'm not really talking about them. I'm just around the game. So we'll see how it goes. I'm trying to be that guy, that bipartisan guy that brings everyone together because that's who I am.
Okay. You know, you're not on one side of the aisle or the other. Let me get to the answer here.
Okay.
I think yes by default. I think both the Astros and the Rangers, pitching in particular, have too many hurdles to climb, right?
Yeah.
Javier and Urquidy, bye. Rangers, yes, we're waiting on Scherzer and DeGrom and Molly, but we don't know what they're going to be when they come back. And I think that I do feel like if you're a Mariners fan, you're like, this is the time we got to step on the accelerator. Like, we got to be up 8
We've been
games.
We've been saying that for 2 years, though, Chris.
You don't have to talk I was the dude who ruined their season last year by giving them a rah-rah speech, and they shit the bed after that. But I do love how the Mariners have gone about this, right? They did make that huge trade for Luis Castillo, which I loved. And then the rest of that rotation is homegrown. 2 first-rounders, a 4th-rounder, and a 6th-rounder, and they've all been really good. Really good. It is the best developed starting staff right now in the bigs. Homegrown starting staff in the bigs, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But, yeah, let's go. Show us something. Show us something, Jerry DePoto. Like, you always made these little smallish trades, and then occasionally you drop in a big one, a Castillo, and you trade away Edwin Diaz for a couple guys you thought were really going to help you, and it never ended up working out. Huh.
What would Dave Dombrowski do? That's what you got to think like right now.
What would D?
Yeah. You know he's going after somebody. I told you he's already going to go get Luis Robert.
Yeah, I know.
So your move, Dipoto.
Okay, let's move on to the Reds, who are playing some pretty good baseball since I mentioned they were going to go on a nice June run. Elly De La Cruz, he went deep on the 1-year anniversary of his show arrival. Another shot last night against the Cubs. Some would say he's more flash and hype than substance. What say you?
I would say he's 22 years old and having a hell of a season so far. 770 OPS. He already has 11 homers and 32 stolen bases. All the refinement is going to come. What has he been so far? I think he's been exactly what you expect from a young guy with that much skill and talent. Sometimes it comes off as raw and sometimes it comes off as sloppy. But the refinement will come. By the time this guy is 25 years old and he's got, 1,500 plate appearances and he's understanding his body and really how to play the shortstop game, we're going to be talking about a perennial all-star here. So I think it should be expected. We can't keep putting these expectations on these young guys. Like, you're 20, 21 years old, go out and just be a perfect baseball player. It's just not going to happen. So I think he's been exactly kind of what I'd imagine he'd be, where it's some days the talent just absolutely takes over and you can't even believe what you're watching. And then some days you're like, dude, that's a rookie mistake. That's, you need to slow the game down. All these things. He's right on path. He's having a great season this year, maybe even ahead of schedule, if you will. I'm not going to say he's right on path. He's ahead of schedule, and with a little bit more time, a little bit more bats, innings played in the field, he's bound for superstardom, Chris.
Here's the thing. Since day one, they haven't been able to hide him. When Derek Jeter came up full-time in 96, he was hitting ninth. And that wasn't...
Isn't that partly his fault, though? Because he came out crushing the ball right away.
What, Jeter?
No, Elly.
Oh, Elly? Was that his fault? Yeah. Shame on him.
Not his fault. Yeah, I'm looking right now. His first 7 games...
Yeah, he was
first
incredible,
6 games,
right?
He came out and crushed. Yeah, he hit 364 with a 482 on base percentage. So after that, it's okay, here's this dude at 21. Oh my gosh.
Well, the reason I asked the question was because he is so great to watch in 10 or 15 second increments. He is a wow factor. There's not a lot of guys in baseball where you are amazing because of your consistency to have some of these splash plays. He is elite defensively in his range, in his arm strength. Obviously, nobody runs the bases like him. He's got amazing pop, the way he's built. I mean, I think he is such a star in the making. And you look and you say, well, his OPS is only 780. Yeah, but his OPS plus has jumped almost 30 points since last year. That's what we should be talking about, is that, he's not 27. And we expect things to be done so quickly. We're like, nope, you're a failure. Let's move on to the next big thing. No, he has made significant progress. Significant progress.
Yeah, you crushed it. I totally agree with you. Our expectations are ridiculous right now. As a society, we all need to relax. Let people breathe. Everything doesn't have to happen instantaneously. And that really is a societal problem for us right now. Everything has to happen right away, or else we forget about it or we don't want it. And I'll tell you this, it's better if you work for it. It's better if you struggle at first. That's life.
How many big league at bats do you think you need to evaluate somebody? Let's say they're getting, maybe they're not an everyday player, but let's say they're starting 3 to 4 days a week, and then maybe they pinch hit occasionally. Is a full season enough to figure out whether or not, they're going to have it? Is it 2 seasons? Is it 3? What is it?
I think it's different for everybody, but I think it's unfair to judge someone off of 1 season. I think if you're a smart talent evaluator, you probably could, and you could say, okay, well, let me look at, what he does and his makeup. Can he make adjustments? All those things matter. But I think for the most part, I mean, the common phrase was 1,500 at bats to see who you are truly at the big league level. I would agree. It's somewhere around there. A couple of years,
that's basically 3 full seasons.
I would say, 2.5 years, especially if you get up there young, Chris. the league makes adjustments, you make adjustments, and finally, like you end up becoming the player that you are. You end up being you are who you're supposed to be. But it takes time.
His K rate, by the way, Elly De La Cruz is down just a smidge, but he does lead the league in strikeouts at 84. His teammate Will Benson is just one behind, so they'll have a nice little race all season long. One other note about the Cincinnati Reds. Remember this weekend, I think it was Saturday, they had like almost a 3.5-hour rain delay. Game was on Big Fox or something. I apologize, Jeremy, if it's Roush or Rauk. I don't know your last name, but local sports guy at the Fox affiliate there. That's a place where I got my start, by the way. Love it. He had this little thing.
So this was my view late Saturday night at Wrigley. It's pouring down rain, no break in the forecast, and my sarcasm got the best of me. If they play this game, because you can see Reynolds Wrap is the sponsor of the tarp, if they play this game, I will wrap my entire body in Reynolds Wrap for my next TV hit. After a 3-hour and 20-minute delay, they played the game in the pouring rain. So here I am 4 days later, foiled by my own tweet. I am a man of my word. Somebody tag awful announcing.
Or just us here at Baseball Today is fine. You were shaking your head. You don't like Jeremy? No?
I mean, I like it. You got to follow through on things. It's just these weathermen just need to relax.
Well,
he's always dancing. He's a sports guy. I thought he was a weather guy.
He was a sports guy. Is he a sports guy or is he a weather guy?
I don't know.
Well, regardless, that's the place where I got my start, by the way. 1993.
Okay,
I was the crew that started OI.
I like that. You know what? I take everything I said back. I'm happy that he came through this word. It was a beautiful tin suit.
Yeah.
So I'm into it, I guess.
Yeah. He is a sports guy. Thank you. Whomever looked that up. Not me. Dan, thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Yeah. That is local TV at its finest, by the way. I just want to say.
It is.
Hey, I got to find my wallet. Our friends at Ridge, they are back with an exciting new product. You can now get Ridge's signature wallet with your favorite MLB logo on it. Officially licensed debut collection includes all 30 teams. I love it because you can fit up to 12 cards in it, plus carry cash if you're still into that. Plus, listen, it is solid. You're not going to get a wallet that's going to get fat and fringy and rip apart at the seams and all that stuff. This thing, I don't know how long we're all going to live. This thing will be around in the year like 3,723.
Great point, Chris. A great point right there by you.
You could just keep handing this down to future generations. This could be the hand-me-down when you finally bite it. Wallets have over 100,000 five-star reviews, durable material. They come with a lifetime warranty. And if for some reason you don't love it after 99 days, and I haven't met that person, send it back, no questions asked. Head on over to ridge.com/JohnBoy to snag yours today. They're offering markdowns up to 30% off for Father's Day, which is right around the corner. It is the perfect gift for the dad that has everything. So go do it today, ridge.com/JohnBoy. And also, it is time right now for our Factor Meals question of the week. Head on over to factormeals.com/spaceball50. If you use that code, you're going to get 50% off your first box plus 20% off your next month. That is while your subscription is active. We want to thank everybody for sending in their question. However, we went with VD Graphics, who gave us kind of an interesting one. If every player in baseball was simultaneously a free agent, had their salary wiped and reset, who would be the highest paid hitter and pitcher in baseball besides Shohei? Who gets the biggest raise and whose salary would drop the most? So you don't have to do all of that. You could do a portion of the question. And let's play it along the lines of there is no 6 years to get to free agency, just like it's all encompassing. You can pay anybody whatever they want.
Yeah. So I'm going to, excuse me, I'll do the first two. I think there's a clear answer for number one. I think it's got to be, or for the pitcher, it's got to be Paul Skeens. I think he's, like young and has the stuff. And I think he would just be the guy that everyone would pay. Like that's kind of a no-brainer to me. The hitter I had a little bit more trouble with, you have to consider age. I think they would consider age into it. So like Juan Soto comes to mind, he's 25 years old, as accomplished as can be. Aaron Judge is what is he, 30 now? Like that's not too old. So like, is that too old to be the highest paid guy? Probably. So I guess I'll go Juan Soto and Paul Skeens.
Okay. 32. Whoa, Judge is 32?
Oh, he's old. Regression.
He's washed up. I'll go to who gets the biggest raise and whose salary would drop the most. The raise is going to be one of the guys who's on a minimum deal right now. So that's like a Gunnar Henderson. He's probably making right around $750,000. I couldn't find exactly what he's in line for this season. But if I had to sign somebody, I'm signing him tomorrow. Bobby Witt's already got his money.
Yeah, do you think that Gunnar and Bobby Witt would surpass Juan Soto just because of they could play the field? At first, I thought Soto's a no-brainer, but then maybe if you're really talking about it, these guys are younger than him.
Yeah, 4 years younger, and they play a premium position. So I think that Gunnar Henderson, like if money was no object, I don't know. I mean, what does Gunnar Henderson get in an open market right now? 500?
It's different because Juan Soto's it's not like an open market. Like he has a benchmark set of his salary already. He's already making like 30 plus. So he knows he's going to get 45 a year.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Let's erase all the other stuff that comes with it, right? That's been collectively bargained.
I think I might change my answer. I think it'd probably be one of those guys. Gunnar or Bobby would be the highest paid player.
Yeah, but Bobby already got money, so that's why
we're erasing all that.
Right, we are. But in terms of who's getting the biggest raise, so Bobby Witt's already.
I'm going back on mine. I'm saying.
Oh, got it. All right. So for me, the biggest drop, Anthony Rendon's the easy choice, but he is on the injured list. So I'm leaving his $38 million. I'm talking about guys that are on active rosters today. I toiled with Jose Abreu, who's making 19.5 this year for a 328 OPS. But I am going, and it bothers me because showing up for every start is big in my book. But Patrick Corbin, his time in Washington has been unbelievable. He's making $35.5 million this year. 1-7, an ERA over 6. He's got a negative WAR. He has made 151 starts in his 5 and almost a half seasons in Washington and has an ERA over 5. Now, he did help him win a World Series, which you just can't say, oh, he just helped him win a World Series, even though I kind of said it that way. But man, $35.5 million for that.
It's one of the life's mysteries, Chris. You know how a guy can go and being productive. I don't know. And in a day and age where pitchers make adjustments very quickly and can change kind of who they are as pitchers rather quickly, he really hasn't changed much, has he?
Other than getting his balls kicked in, which didn't happen prior to signing there. Do you remember when everybody thought he was going to the Yankees because he grew up a huge Yankees fan? And so, Yankee fans, understandably, were pissed when he went to Washington, D.C. instead. Y'all got saved.
They did.
Yeah. All right, listen, man, go get healthy. I don't like hearing you cough. You are working. I busted your balls before we started. I appreciate how hard you're working. Just to pull back the curtain a little bit, I told Plouffe, you can't complain. He wasn't complaining.
I'm not complaining.
We're not complaining.
I do love talking ball.
I know you do. And you can spit. You can hock a loogie if you need to.
I'm going to after the show.
Okay. Yeah. Didn't mean to bust your balls. You know I love you.
Love you, baby.
Okay. Go get some sleep. Go get a green juice in you. Walk around the city. Get some fresh air. Say hi to all your fans in Pittsburgh. Another amazing week around here. Want to thank our one-of-a-kind producer, Dan Rourke. Our amazingly talented intern, Tommy Young, as well. That is my man, Trevor Plouffe. I am Chris Rose. We will see you next week here on Baseball Today, presented to you by Factor.